Kristi Noem, welcome to the program. How are you?
Oh, thank you, Glenn. I'm doing great. Thank you for inviting me to be on.
No, it's great to have. First of all, thank you for the shoe thing. Thank you.
Oh.
I feel like a human being again.
That was like the first thing when I got here, said to TSA. I'm like, I think the shoe thing is made up. I'm not sure our technology hasn't evolved enough where we don't have to take our shoes off anymore. So they ran the security protocols and made sense. And we're continuing to evaluate everything TSA does. And hospitality needs to be a part of this equation too. I think so many people that encounter our security checkpoints just wonder, is this necessary, and why is everybody yelling at us?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think a lot of it is necessary. At least the way that we're doing it. I don't know why. I mean, I know you've seen the numbers.
Yeah.
What is it? Seattle or San Francisco? One of them that has the private security is better than the government-run security. I mean,
yeah. So we've got. I think 16 or 18 airports now that have private security that we've contracted with for those measures. So we're continuing to evaluate that at every location and implement it where we can. If we think it's better protocols for security, but also works better for the traveler. My vision is that at some point we get to, you walk in the door of the airport with your carry-on suitcase, you walk through a scanner pulling your suitcase and go right to your gate. And that technology is available and out there, but we just need to get it updated and get it implemented.
Yeah, good. I want to talk to you about ICE. First of all, you're removing the age limits for new applications to join ICE. Does that mean, I'm only 61. Does that mean somebody like me, I can have the Velcro shoes and I can come out? I'm sure I have a bad back. I can barely walk, but can I be a part of ICE?
You're still going to have to pass the physical test, Glenn. I'm sorry, but there will be a physical exam and training and all that. But yes, we want some of these folks that retired from law enforcement under the Biden administration, got frustrated, maybe former Border Patrol, former federal officers that weren't allowed to do their jobs before, to come back and to be a part of literally saving America and saving these communities and cities that have been so victimized by the crime and drugs of these illegal criminals that have been out there attacking their families. So it has been amazing. We have 10,000 new officers that we received funding from in the big, beautiful bill to hire for ICE, and we have already had over 80,000 applicants for those 10,000 positions. So we're rolling through that and getting them through the process to see if they qualify so we can give them final offers. But what I like about that the most, Glenn, is the fact that, the media and the socialists and Marxists have done nothing more than try to demonize our ICE officers. And to see that kind of response in less than a week just shows that the American people stand with the rule of law, that they want to help and they want to be a part of this. And so that in itself has been so encouraging to ICE, just to see that people want to join the team and they're excited about it.
Yeah, now people on the left are saying that, you're turning ICE into a teenage army for deportations.
No,
really?
We're not.
Really?
Nothing's changing.
Okay.
But that's, I'm shocked every day by the amount of stories that we have to refute that just are completely false. And there will be so many stories shared, so many things said, so many narratives that we spend half of our time over here at the Department of Homeland Security saying, that's not true. No, we didn't. That's not a fact. Even making up anecdotal stories about families that just never even happened.
Right. I am amazed. When you're taking on somebody like Mamdani, and they're accusing ICE now of kidnapping people.
Yes. Yes.
Kidnapping. When you start planting things like they're just pulling up in unmarked trucks and they're wearing masks because they're Nazis and they're just kidnapping people off the street, you are telling people you have a reason and a license to stop these people with any means necessary. It is so dangerous.
It's so dangerous. Well, and we just got this morning the notification that attacks on ICE officers is up by over 1,000% than what it was 6 months ago. So, because those politicians and those extremists talk that way. I tell people, I've said this my whole life, words have consequences. What you say matters. And the consequences of using dangerous language like that is that people take action on them. Anybody who has a tendency to be unstable or to be violent, that almost gives them permission to go out there and take action against these individuals these guys just, they're not picking and choosing winners or deciding who the law applies to. They're just doing their job, upholding the law, and they want to go home at night to their families too.
So this is what amazes me, that you're getting 80 or 90,000 applicants when you have these radicals putting wanted posters up of people in their own neighborhoods. I mean, as a dad, I don't know if I could put my family in danger.
No.
And what are we going to do to stop this kind of stuff?
Well, we are going to keep doing our job no matter what, and we're building special operations teams to handle the situations we face out on the streets. And one of the things when we're in these communities, and that's why I've spent so much time with our agents and officers, because I want to know what they go through when they run these ops. And it's amazing to me when we're out on the street in New York City or in the Bronx or in LA, you're doing a operation in an apartment where you have a warrant but people are walking by taking their kids to school, or they're, walking to work, and they're saying, thank you for being here. Thank you. We have lived with this for years, and our mayor, our governor won't do anything. Thank you for being here. So people are overwhelmingly, and that's what I tell our ICE officers all the time, is you're not all over the country like I am or out in these communities as much with the different components under Homeland Security, but overwhelmingly people say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I think that what happens so much in this country is the extremists are loud and the normal people just go to work and keep their heads down. But go ahead. We just have to be vocal about our support. Like I'm encouraging people that are hardworking, everyday Americans to be bold about saying, I support our law enforcement officers. I support what they're doing to arrest these rapists and these murderers. I mean, just this last couple of days, we've arrested dozens and dozens of sexual predators, pedophiles. You should see these cases that we've built against these individuals from Honduras and from Mexico, and they're here illegally. Some from Ukraine. They're raping people and murdering them. We had ones that have been arrested 2 or 3 times and released by their city, and they don't honor our detainers. And then they end up killing someone in a drunk driving accident or assaulting someone, and then we finally get the chance to incarcerate them when we pick them up before the locals do. Because if the locals do and they're a sanctuary city, they don't honor our detainers. They just turn them loose again.
So let me ask you, and this might be unfair because I don't know if this falls under Homeland Security at all, but, we had Delia Ramirez, and Ilhan Omar has done it too, declare that they are more, they feel more akin to Somalia or to Guatemala than America, and they're serving in Congress. Do we enforce the oath of office?
Yeah, I don't. The Department of Justice would make that determination, but that is alarming to me. And for
if you had an officer that said that, I mean, I'm assuming your ICE officers take an oath to the Constitution. If they had, would you consider that a fireable offense?
Yes, absolutely, and we do take action on that. And when I've used every authority. There's expansive authorities here. This is a national security position, and I tell people consistently, the Department of Homeland Security, I have the authority over every person in this country that leaves this country or comes into this country. We have the authority over every product or good that is in this country or leaves this country or comes in, and we also have jurisdiction over the Internet. So what is said and done, what is a security concern, and what is communicated, and protecting our critical infrastructure, but also how bad actors would wish to do us harm. So the authorities there I've been using when these specific situations where we have people who don't love America, I will use polygraphs. I will use the authority that I have to find out that if you're going to be in this federal government where our mission and our oath is to protect this country, you're not going to be allowed to be here if that is not truly where your efforts go every single day. So those members of Congress, I don't sleep much, and when I'm laying there thinking about it at night, I just think is that our poor education system that we didn't spend enough time in our schools, teaching the Constitution, teaching the Declaration of Independence, the fact that how hard this country was fought for and why it was established, and that we facilitate where someone can actually get elected to a high office like that and say something like that, and we would have people nod their heads. It's a ripple effect of, I think, many years of neglect.
Yeah. I think I used to believe it was just neglect, and it might have been at first, but it is what they're actively being taught. It's not just what they're being left, what's being left out. They're actively being taught to hate the country at this point. Let me ask you just a couple of quick questions. SCOTUS, if they rule against birthright citizenship, President Trump's order, will you respect the ruling of the Supreme Court?
We have always respected federal rulings, and will do so. I think that would, I don't know when that ruling's expected for sure, but that would be a very consequential ruling that we would have to figure out how to handle and deal with.
Do you agree with SCOTUS that illegal aliens have some due process rights, and why or why not?
I do, but I do believe due process looks different according to the law and according to what's afforded to them. So most people, when they think of due process, don't do their homework and research to really understand that it's not a guarantee of a hearing or an in-person presentation in front of a judge, or the due process looks very different for an illegal alien that's in our country than it does for a U.S. citizen, and that is appropriate. I think that's entirely appropriate. And we have always afforded every single illegal that's in this country due process before they are removed. There's not been an instance where ICE or immigration officials haven't done so.
Tom Homan told me months ago, he said there's several phases of this. What phase are we in, and how many phases do we have, or where are we in the process of getting this really done?
Mm-hmm. Well, I asked President Trump for this job because I knew he was going to have someone that was actually tough enough to do it, but tough enough to do it for a long period of time, that wasn't going to say, this is a 6-month operation, and then we're going to soften and get ready for midterms. I knew he needed somebody that could sustain this, because what Joe Biden broke by allowing this invasion can't be undone overnight. So it will be ongoing efforts. We have funding through the reconciliation bill to sustain it for the next 4 years, and we will. And it will only get stronger and stronger and bigger. We intend to grow it, not shrink it. And we are going after the worst of the worst, and those criminals that are killing Americans and victimizing Americans as well. But, overwhelmingly, I've been to, I think, 11 or 12 different countries in Central and South America negotiating security agreements and sharing of information on criminals and people that they think are in our country, and talking with those presidents of those countries and sitting down with their leadership. It's amazing. They're telling me that hundreds and hundreds of thousands of their people have already come home voluntarily. That just because we've been so strong on the messaging, the commercials, the CCOT videos have convinced people that we're in this country illegally. You know what? I'm going to leave now, and then I have a chance to go back to America the right way. And I think the president of Mexico and her team were telling me they believe that 500,000 Mexicans have just voluntarily came home that may not even be on our radar, that we haven't counted because they didn't come home through our app or through our systems. And I was just in Ecuador and Chile and Argentina, the same conversations. So I do believe we're making a big difference, even in just our messaging, that people that were here illegally understand that they should go home on their own first, and then we need to figure out, if they're given the advantage to come back to this country, how we do that.
Well, I don't know about you. I imagine you're far more busy than I ever have been. But I remember when South Park did an episode, and Cartman played me the whole time.
Oh, really?
It took me about a year before I didn't even know it happened until like maybe a year later. I was so busy. I ended up years later watching it with my son, and we both laughed over it. But welcome to the club.
Well, I guess so. I didn't get to see it. I was going over budget numbers and stuff. But I just think it's Yeah, it never ends, but it's so lazy to just constantly make fun of women for how they look. Only the liberals and the extremists do that. If they wanted to criticize my job, go ahead and do that, but clearly they can't. They just pick something petty like that.
Kristi, thanks so much. God bless.
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. You too.
And again,
absolutely.
thanks for the shoes.
Thank you. Keep praying. We're doing good.